to maintain our life in the fast lane, we need fuel. And relationship with other people is one major fuel source. Now, we have two kinds of relationships. One type is what I call competing. They use energy. And the other type is completing. They share energy. When it comes to dependence, this would be children and employees and family members, for example. A competing relationship would be someone who needs more and more of your time and energy and never quite gets satisfied. They never quite get enough to engage and become responsible on their own. That's very draining. A completing relationship with a dependent would be one in which, yes, you spend time and energy and money assisting the person, but they respond, and their response gives you the kind of feedback where you feel like your time and energy has been well spent. So that is a sense of completing. When it comes to partnership, marriages, and others, the competing relationship would be demonstrated by a person, yourself, for example, wanting to be able to do everything, to be the lover, be the breadwinner, be the electrical expert, be the artistic expert, be the wise one, be the fun-loving one, to be all things in that relationship. That too can be very draining. It can be very distracting as well. A completing relationship with your partner would be one in which the unique talents of each individual are recognized and used to the fullest. So if one of you is creative or artistic and the other is very, very good at the details and the technical aspects, what better relationship can there be to have a complete team? It's very, very satisfying. There are other relationships that have to do with associations and friendships. A competing relationship in this could be the black hole. I imagine we have all experienced someone in our life who, no matter what you do, you can never fill them up. And also, you can never, compete with them because their story is the biggest. Their woes are the greatest. Their pain is the most severe. They are over the edge, and there is no way of keeping up with them. Very, very draining. A completing relationship or association would be one that is both entertaining, generous, and satisfying. And fortunately, we know what those relationships are like too. So, life is like a merry-go-round. It has its ups and downs, and the people in our life contribute to the ups and the downs. Let's look at this from another perspective. No one person in our life can meet all of our needs. That's why having a diversity of relationships is very, very healthy and beneficial. First of all, it's healthy in that you're not putting so much stress or so much expectation on just one person, such as a partner or your best friend. And the other is that the diversity feeds you in ways that you can't imagine. For example, one friend might provide you with acceptance. They love you the way you are. Another friend might be very challenging in good ways, always finding ways to encourage you to be more. So those are two very different styles, and often you don't find them in one person. Next is some people can be very, very comforting and nurturing, and that's lovely. And The counter to that would be someone who, rather than comforting, wants to encourage, wants you to be more. We have friends who are lots of fun and such a delight to be with. And if we want to get serious and get some work done and be really organized, we might need to choose a different relationship for that bit of work. And then we have friends who are very mentally stimulating, friends that are very intuitive, friends that are very emotional and dramatic and lively. Those three things don't often come in the same package either. So as you can see, having a variety of friends can provide you with a diversity of resources. So when possible, you want to choose high-octane relationships, people who can bring out the best in you. Now, in order to get a sense of who is in your life and how they serve you, I have a very interesting activity to share with you. In this activity, I'm inviting you to take a look at the relationships that you have and to decide whether they are draining or enlivening. I like working on a big sheet of paper and making big revelations, but you may simply have a smaller sheet of paper and pen. At least that's what you're going to need for this particular activity. So please go ahead and get it before we get started. Now, in our lives, we have some relationships which are built in. Parents, for example, are something that we all come equipped with. Yours may still be living or they may have passed away, but nonetheless, parents are a relationship of great impact. When you look at a parent, was the parent draining or is the parent draining? That would be a critical parent who's always finding fault, always finding out what you shouldn't be doing at the present time. Another draining parent would be one that is worried. A parent who is always worried about you is not showing faith in who you are and how you can solve your own problems. So there's examples of parents that are draining. Now, you could have one of each. You could have a draining parent, you could have an enlivening one, or maybe they both are enlivening. An enlivening parent would be one that really acts as a mentor, someone who's available to provide you with perspective when you need it, and always supportive in terms of listening to what you have to say, and yet not being judgmental. So this is very helpful. Another kind of parent is the nurturing parent. And this is a dad who comes over and helps you paint the kitchen or build new cabinets. A mother who creates wonderful family dinners and includes you. Oh, there's so many ways to nurture. But these describe nurturing parents. A mom, a dad, even aunts and uncles, people of mature age who support you. So we have the parent role, and then we have siblings. Now, not all of us have siblings, but if you do, take a look at the individuals and see, are they draining? A draining sibling might be one who is competitive, that's not right, but competitive, and they're always trying to get the same amount as you have, or perhaps more attention, more things. Another type of sibling could be one who is very negative and morose. So being around them would also be draining. Oh, there are many draining things about siblings, but there are also positive things. You might have a sibling who is just a great partner, because this sibling likes to do the things that you do and you have a lot of fun together. So partner, playmate, someone who shares their friends or their learning with you. So that's a sibling who is enlivening. If you've reached the place where you are now a parent or some type of guardian, you have children as relationships. Some of them are draining and some of them are enlivening. A draining relationship with a child is one who is always needy, no matter what their age, no matter how much you do for them or with them. It's never enough. That is really, really difficult. Another draining child relationship is one who is rebellious. One who is rebelling is constantly challenging you to hold your boundaries and do what you think is right. Yep. And you can have children. Actually, the same child can do both of these for you. A child who is responsive. And a responsive child is one who learns from life, takes some of your advice or follows some of your directions, and really, or some of the opportunities you provide, and gets something out of it. And another type of enlivening child relationship is one in which the child is appreciative. This doesn't happen in the teen years, but it can happen as the child reaches adulthood. That is very enlivening. These family relationships are not ones in which you have much choice. What you have is what you get to work with. If you are working with someone who is draining, here is a technique. Whenever you are interacting with that person, if you see them surrounded by this wonderful green, emerald green or Kelly green bubble or Easter egg shape, this green is, in essence, it's an affirmation. It's neutralizing their, let's say, their negative behavior, and at the same time, it's sending them healing energy. That's really a nice thing to be able to do when you're dealing with someone who's draining. On the enlivening side, it really doesn't require any action at all, but anytime you verbally express appreciation, that is a very helpful thing. And I realize right now that I have left out a very important category. This one, you have a little more choice, and that has to do with your partner. Your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your significant other, whatever you want to call it. And in that type of partnership, we have partners which can be passionate and draining. They take up a lot of energy because they need so much of our attention, so much of our energy, so much of our time. Sometimes they are also competitive. And then there are relationships which are loving and generous. This is a partner who is happy to put up with you in your good times and your bad times. That's very, very enlivening and helpful, particularly when you're tootling down the fast lane and you need all the energy you can get. So, passionate, negative, demanding, controlling. Passion is not a bad thing. I could put it over here, but what I've done is talked about loving and generous on the side. So, here are the two kinds of relationships we have with our significant others. And again, you can surround that individual with this green bubble when you need to neutralize, or you can express in words and actions your love and appreciation. Well, we still have more relationships. We have friends, and some friends are very draining. These are the friends who have stories, who have complaints. Those are the two major things. And sometimes we're very attracted to the people who need us. They need us to rescue them, to help them, to fix them, to listen to them. But remember that all of that energy is being invested in someone else, and sometimes there's a limit to how much you can give. And then we have friends who are fun, friends who are giving, friends who are stimulating. They may get us to hear a lecture, go take a class, go to the gym with them, have a picnic. They may listen to our complaints. These are friends which create an enlivening feedback. We also have associates. Now, this could be your business associates or the people that you interact with at various functions where you might volunteer your time. Just people who come and go out of your life. The associates, some of them can be very self-absorbed. Let's just leave it at that. Self-absorbed people need lots of attention, lots of applause, and rarely do they turn around and give back. So self-absorbed people can be very draining. Other associates are very, I'm going to call it global or open or accepting. These kinds of associates are appreciative of whatever you bring to the situation. They have a tendency to lead a more balanced or have a more balanced perspective. They're easy to work with because they make the work go well. They make it easy. So in this part of our board where we're looking at friends and associates, you can still use the circle of green light to neutralize or the expressing of appreciation, but there is a third alternative, and that is if you find that you are fed up and you have come to your limits with stories, with complaints, with the self-absorbed individuals, you do have the right to take your energy elsewhere. You do have the right to say, I've learned a lot from knowing you, and I think I feel complete, and I'm out of here. You do have the right to say, I'm empty. I'm done. It's okay. And in knowing what you have to give to a relationship, examining your relationships, you're much better equipped to be a better family member, a better significant other, a better friend and associate. Enjoy your relationships.